Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazak Ba with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, what I want to get into is the great deception of Jesus Christ, and what influenced me to do this lesson through, it was through the Spirit, but I posted a video recently that had an accurate depiction of what Yahweh Shai, our Lord, who is ignorantly called Jesus Christ, an accurate depiction on what he would look like according to the scriptures, and in the comments of that video, the picture was confusing for some, and the reason why is because it's been pushed in the world a lie, a deception for people to believe that our Lord is a so-called white man, for people to believe our Lord is Jesus Christ, which is an idol, and we're let's get Job chapter 9 verse 24, which says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So what has happened is that Esau, who is the so-called white man who rules this world today, he's covered the faces of the judges. And what that means is that what he has done is replaced the Most High, our Lord, Yahweh Shai. He has replaced the angels. He has replaced the Israelites and made their depictions as so-called white people, to where now when you read about the different men in the scriptures, when you read about the Lord, when you think of the Most High, the image that pops into a lot of people's mind is a so-called white man. This is the image that pops into people's minds. But what I have here on the left is a man by the name of Cesare Borgia. And this is the man that the portrait of Jesus is based upon, and a lot of people still don't know this. A lot of people still see this image and think that this is what the Lord looks like, because this is what is pushed in the Christian church. This is what is pushed in the Catholic church. And this has our people in a dead state of mind, a spiritually dead state, because they don't know the truth, and a lot of our people, and not just our people, but everybody that adheres to, these different religions, and don't know the truth, they think that this is the Lord. But the scriptures say otherwise, and we're going to get the truth of it in this video. So let's go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 13, which says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So this is giving a description of Yahweh Shai, as it says, the Son of Man. And the reason why I keep saying the name Yahweh Shai is because that is the true name of our Lord. When the angel came to Joseph and Mary and told them to name to name their son, he didn't bring the name Jesus. The letter J didn't even exist at the time. If we were going off of that false name, really he would have said the Greek, which is Iesus, but that's not what he said. That's just a Greek translation of our Lord's name, which is transliterated from Joshua. But Yahweh Shai, his true name is in the Hebrew tongue. Yah, which means he, and Yahweh Shai, which means delivers. That is the true name of the Lord when you go into the Hebrew, and so in Revelation chapter 1 is giving a description of our Lord. First it says what he was dressed in this vision. It says he was clothed with a garment down to the foot and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. And we read on. Now I was about to give the description of what he looked like. It said his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So this is saying what his hair looked like. It says it was white like wool, as white as snow. And this isn't only a description of the color of his hair, but it's also a description of the texture of his hair. It says that it's basically saying that he had woolly hair. And what people have woolly hair on the earth? Well, Jake, Negroes, Israelites, they have woolly hair. It says, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Now, this isn't saying that only the Lord's feet were dark. This is giving a description of his, of his skin color on his whole body. And it's saying it was like unto fine brass. Now, brass is already brown, but then it says as if it burned in a furnace, which is saying that our Lord is a dark-skinned man with white woolly hair. And it says, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So this is a more accurate depiction on what our Lord would look like. Not to say that this is the Lord himself. This is just art based off of the description that the Bible gives. These are more accurate depictions, and I really like this one right here. This is a pretty dope picture to me. And this is the picture that I had as the thumbnail on the video that I referred to earlier. And a lot of people were, curious about the picture. They were confused about it. And that's why I wanted to do this lesson, because this right here is falsehood. This is something that was pushed by Esau to keep our people, to keep the truth away from our people. This was something pushed by Esau so that our people could worship Esau. So our people could recognize Esau and the Edomites as the superior people. If you push that the Lord and all the people in the Bible and that the Israelites are so-called white people, that makes so-called white people superior to Jake. But once you find out that this is actually what the Lord looks like, that shakes things up. So Esau has failed to hide the truth, because the Spirit has woken his people up to the truth. And now we know, and it's right here in the scriptures. This shows a lot of people don't really get into the scriptures, because it's right here in Revelation chapter 1. It says what our Lord looks like. I was going to say you can't bend or twist this breakdown, but a lot of people bend and twist this breakdown. But the truth is the truth, so that's why I want to grab with this lesson. I'll just make a quick lesson, based off of, a foundational truth that we learn, once the Spirit awakens us to the truth, that this is a false image. And the elect of our people are going to, flee away from this brainwashing that Esau has pushed, with this plantation Christianity, and this false image, So, hey, Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.